To celebrate Star Trek's 60th anniversary, LEGO came up with a suiting way to celebrate it, the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701 Bridge. Featuring the original crew in minifigure form, the main parts of the bridge, plus a few extras, and lots more that fans of the show will surely be excited about, but not without some caveats. So let's go over everything this set has to offer, and thank you LEGO for sending the early review copy. In your usual fashion, the building instruction manual will be a nice throwback with a few show stills, the LEGO characters' names alongside one of their quotes, and then the side-by-side comparison shots between LEGO model and real set on the last pair of pages that do help to tell how good of a job was done in turning the bridge into bricks. The minifigure selection does capture most of the core crew in a very nice way, with a total of 8 characters included. In the science division, we have Nurse Christine Chappelle with her unique tunic-styled clothing featuring dual-molded and printed leg element even, packing more detail than the standard uniforms both Dr. Leonard McCoy and Science Office Spock use. Spock here does feature a new hairpiece that features his Vulcan origin, making him one of the most recognizable characters in the lineup. Onto the operations division, we have Lieutenant Commander Montgomery Scott and Communications Officer Lieutenant Nyota Uhura, wearing red, with Uhura having an increased level of detailing the same way Christine did, printed wall-molded leg element, and her communication earpiece can also be found on her head print. Finally, on the command division, we have Navigator Ensign Pavel Chekhov, making use of Stranger Things Will's hairpiece. Then Helmsman Lieutenant Hikaru Sulu, and finally Captain James T. Kirk. Every character aside from Uhura and Sulu have alternate face prints, and some of these have accompanying objects that fit the character, like a canister of the lithium crystals for Scotty, an hypo spray for McCoy, making use of the regular minifinger syringe, Spock as a tricorder and communicator, an extra one of those is also included in the set, printed 1x2 tiles by the way, Christine as a drink that I'm not entirely sure what could be, and the crew seems to be dealing with tribbles at the moment, the sweet and furry fast-breathing creatures that I'm kinda scared of since my copy of the set has 2 extra beside the ones hidden in the main build. The uniforms may seem simple and low effort, but if you look close enough you'll even be able to find the departmental insignia on the emblem, so LEGO took all of the opportunities they could find for detail here. The bridge build is of course where all of these characters fit, which makes it all a lot more interesting than the stand last year's Enterprise set had. From a building standpoint, I was immediately drawn to how this was built, not a perfectly circular arrangement, but close enough, making use of hinged plates to create the necessary angles for then the sideways floor sections to be attached to. It will be a tedious process, be warned, but with a good payoff, I feel. The color scheme feels spot on with the grey-black and that new shade of orange with splashes of sand blue on the back screens there. These, by the way, are stickers, and the set does unfortunately have 2 massive sheets of them. Still a fair amount of prints included, mind you, but man, right out of the bat you need to apply 13 of them on bag number 1 alone. That was tough. Keen-eyed fans will probably recognize some of these decorations here, and I'll highlight the one with a Gorn in there, perhaps a hint at a future minifigure. Now, despite these screens being stickers, the control panels below are all prints, a set of 4 elements repeated on every console, which is kind of great. There is, however, the caveat that all of these represent engineering consoles, which really doesn't make sense on Spock's or Uhura's communication station. It sells the look, and I'm not complaining about prints, but for the hardcore fans this might be a little bit off-putting. The way these are placed at an angle was fun to put together. The chairs can comfortably sit our characters and rotate in place, and I like how the designer made it so that the anti-studs are always facing away from us if you turn the seats towards their designated consoles for a much better look. The navigation and helm stations are slightly different, done with a couple more stickers this time around, but that do do faithfully represent what you should expect to find here. The helm function panel, the astrogator in the middle, and the navigator controls to the right. For brick build details, we do have the weapon targeting scope and a transparent G-slope for the alert system that can be swapped to yellow or red alert with the included slopes stored under the astrogator, which is where we can find one of the hidden tribbles. And of course, in the middle of it all, Kirk's command chair with a few more stickers for details, stuck to the base with a ball joint so that it can be tilted to replicate the way the crew was thrown around during battle scenes in the show. The way this connects to the upper level of the bridge is very flimsy, just two sideways studs, so when transporting the model you'll need to do it in 2 turns, which I wasn't that big of a fan of. This could have easily been solved by actually adding a floor to this entire thing, which LEGO decided not to do for cost-saving reasons, which I can get behind. This is after all a display model, so once you set it down you probably shouldn't need to move it all that much, so there's that. At the end of the bridge room we obviously have the turbo lift that we can actually open and close due to the use of a very smart and simple LEGO Technic mechanism. If you turn all of these around, you'll notice the back wasn't entirely dismissed, as we can see some of the colorful wall plant-on features, Sulu's fencing foil, and a rack that holds 4 phasers, yet another all-new element included in the set. 5, if you count the extra. This is where some of the other side builds of the set come in, with the first being the main view screen that shows a Klingon warrior, another of the set's stickers with 2 more on the sides for detailing. No space was left unused, so in the back of these some interesting items can be found too. 2 Vulcan Lirpas, something that's meant to replicate a Trident scanner without much success, I feel, and Spock's strange-looking harp. Now, as you know, these things should be placed directly in front of the command module, but that kinda gets in the way and doesn't look amazing, so LEGO suggests you use the connection point included and have these to the side of the bridge, which is a fair compromise. The final extra is the transporter room, perhaps the second most used location of the show, which warranted a brick version in this set. This is the highest sticker invested part of the whole model, I'm afraid, as every decoration you see here is a sticker. That includes the transporter console, the sign to the left, all of the transporter matrix panels on the back, and the transporter pads on the floor. I did intentionally forget this screen here, as behind it, when you push this lever, the last of hidden tribbles can be found. Besides all of this, there is one last thing worth mentioning, which is the way you can place 2 minifigures in the pads, ask Scotty to beam you up, and at the turn of a crank in the back, your minifigures are dematerialized. Pretty sweet function if you ask me, nothing too crazy on how it all works underneath, but again, still really cool to see. Due to the connections present, you can take the turbo lift and place it next to the transporter room, as this thing has matching wall colors for that purpose, or alternatively, if you want to keep all of your display in one chunk, you can just place the transporter room to the left of the bridge. Not show accurate, as you know, but a compromise made to have all bridge adjacent builds together for your viewing pleasure. I can't help but feel that the level of care that was taken into consideration when designing this set was really high. And I'm saying it as someone that has never watched Star Trek. My research for this video showed me that much, and it wouldn't surprise me that I still missed a lot of details and references. Sure, the fact that there's a floor missing and way too many stickers on a set that should be considered premium isn't that amazing, or the fact that this doesn't stay together if you want to take it somewhere. Price-wise, as much as I like seeing the piece count being a clever Easter egg that references the registry number of the Enterprise, this will still retail for $200, which isn't terrible, mind you. The Harry Potter Ministry of Magic set I reviewed last week was abysmal in that regard too, but not great either, especially for the amount of stickers it has. Had it all been printed, I think I would be fine with $200, but then again, it aligns with the Enterprise pricing, and considering how well it did last year, Star Trek LEGO starved fans won't probably bat an eye at this, right? Seeing how a year after the Enterprise there's another Star Trek LEGO product coming out, I think trekkies should have reasons to believe this is not going to stop anytime soon. The question is, is what will we see next? This will be up for grabs on September 1st, the month of Star Trek's 60th anniversary. Clever move by LEGO, and you can already pre-order it from the website, links in the description if you wish to support my work at no extra cost to you. Thanks for watching, live long and prosper, and I'll see you all on the next one.